basically, where we're at right now, we're starting to get pretty, I would say, medium-term bullish just on where we're at right now. So one thing here that is kind of important to notice with what's happening in the market is we had our potential for a 60-day cycle low right here on June 24th. Then we had a cluster of price around support, which essentially is 60,000 and some change, 60,400. And then we had resistance here at the tops of all these candles where price was getting sold off. And the tops of those candles was essentially 62,400, or if you round it up, 62,500. So earlier today, as this candle was being created for Sunday, June 30th, I was telling everybody in the Citadel, hey, if we get a new high above these previous candles, so essentially 62,500, then we will be in a new 60-day cycle. Why? Because we have a cycle low, we have a wick low. It's 54 days low to low from the previous low. We broke the downtrend if that happened, which it did. And then also we have a new high past day 7, because the shortest 60-day cycle high you will see 99.9% of the time is a day 7 high. There's only one anomaly in Bitcoin's history that was less. And so if we get at least a 7-day high, and then on a left translated cycle, if it's still bearish, that would be essentially at worst a day 24 high. So we have between day 7 and day 24, which is today until July 18th. We have that period of time to basically bet to the upside based on this breakout, in my opinion, based on the 60-day cycles. Now, the most important thing for this current 60-day cycle is that we want to get back to this 111-day moving average, which is currently at 66,100. If we regain that, and then we eventually regain 68,000, then we have a good shot at a right translated cycle, which would mean getting a new high past July 24th. And we would want to see, we don't have to go to new all-time highs, but we want to breach the previous cycle high. If we can do that, then we will increase, because essentially the pattern here is we got a lower high, lower high, lower high. If we get another lower high, that could potentially be bearish, but we also have a lower, higher, a low, a higher low. And if we get another higher low, then we're basically contracting in this next 60-day cycle between now and, let's give it the average of the full 60 days, between now and, August 23rd, right? Maybe at shortest day 40 of the 60-day cycle, which would be August 3rd. So that whole August period, 3rd to the 23rd, that's where you're really looking for, the data of, are we going to break down and make a new low, or are we going to break up and make a new high? Whichever one the price chooses during this current 60-day cycle will pretty much tell us where we're going to go after. And because we're not too far off the Bitcoin halving, then, the longer we go away from the Bitcoin halving, the more likely we are to pump just due to supply demand. We also have on the daily this bullish divergence where the RSI continued to go down, whereas price held up. That is also bullish for the daily there. So I think this, the last couple 60-day cycles, we had basically a low to low here of a 42-day cycle. Now we have another low to low here of 54. And I think we'll have another low to low maybe of about 50 days, most likely with a higher low. And then we basically have these 3 cycles to allocate, and then we pump. That's what seems the most likely based on Bitcoin's 4-year cycles and stuff like that. But the danger zone is if we break below 60K, we break below the support area that we've created, then we quickly turn from a possible bullish cycle to, if it's, let's say we only get a high on day 10, we go up until Thursday, and then we crash below 60K, then we can dump down all of that time period, right? For about 30 to 40 days, we could be just dumping and going to hit, that $1 trillion Bitcoin market cap, maybe hit $52,000 Bitcoin. And, it's a good time to allocate, but it will take maybe one more cycle after that. Then it might take until early Q4 to keep accumulating before it regains strength from there. So either way, I think we're still bullish long term. or over the next 1 year or so. But how long we have to accumulate, whether it's half a cycle, full cycle, or 2 more 60-day cycles, it's one of those 3, and then we pump, in my opinion. So that's kind of where we're at in the market right now. But yeah, just wanted to share that. I'll pop off on this unless you have anything you wanted to add.
No, I mean, it's just, you guys have some time to accumulate, but the big X factor is it's kind of like the market. So I wouldn't say feared and greed index, but I would say just more like the sentiment is bearish. So it's kind of, this is the same reason I want to explain what's going on with the illuvium side and stuff right now. Is kind of like, it's sort of, I think the community and overall crypto has been like, oh, you guys have been crying wolf. It's like they don't believe it's going to happen until it happens.
Correct.
And they're like, oh, wow, it actually did happen. Holy shit. And that's what's happening right now. So until the ETF and people start seeing like, oh, damn, people actually are buying. Because any net buying, I mean, outside of just like $1 million a day, that would be bad. But like, if there's only one fund, that's okay. But if it's like multiple ones have turned on and it's getting like nothing, it's like yikes, right? But once it's actually turned on and stuff, and people are seeing the inflows are starting to come in, okay, wow, okay, this is interesting. That could actually like bring up interest again and stuff like that, and then prices can go up and stuff. This is why like this next 60 days are so important, because this is if we're going to see, we're going to get that action in that summer.
Yep, and like I said, I think the action will come regardless once we get towards Q4. But yeah, like it's always better if we're pumping and everything. So the other thing to look at here, if we look at the golden ratio multiplier, is if we were to pump like crazy in the current 60-day cycle, what would our cap be in terms of like a local high? Your cap is basically the top of this golden ratio multiplier, which is currently $92,000 or $93,000 by the time we. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was literally about to say 91,000 in my head. I was about to say that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because you can kind of get the gut feeling that if we were to go up that high, then yeah, that's kind of like too quick within 160-day cycle. That's kind of unsustainable. Whereas if we get to the green line here, which is 74,000, that's kind of like fair price. Like it's bullish, but it's kind of like nice and high. So like, yeah, I think in general, if we were to get to about $75,000 and kind of like just creep up a bit from there, that would be your bull case scenario within the 60-day cycle. Doesn't mean we'd have to continue pumping from there, but actually, if you just kind of chill off around that price and then kind of accumulate the second half of this cycle, that's actually kind of the best scenario you're going to get. And it seems like I said before, BlackRock, all these ETF people, Bitwise, everybody, they want to get into this position, right? And so like basically being like, hey, put the ETF out there, but do it in a way that's not going to get hype. That gives them the best chance to continue buying at decent prices before we really break out.